So in the previous video, I mentioned I was looking for a septic installer. It's been about 1 month. I might get into some of that in the future and what to watch out for. Today, our goal is to set an elevation benchmark for the plumbing. We want to make sure that our plumbing in the building is higher than the tanks that are in the ground so that we can have the proper slope. In our area, we already had these high density intensity soil survey maps that you could find online. And we found these at the USDA.gov website. They have this public web app you can look at to gather all kinds of information about your land. It rated our land as prime farmland, and it was great for a conventional septic system. The reason you want a conventional septic system is because it's cheaper. That's the main reason. We were still required to hire our own soil scientists. They just ended up digging all over the place, looking at the soil and turning in a report with a 45 MPI. And if you know anything about soil percolation measurements and stuff, that's pretty good. Unfortunately, our local government overruled all that and required a low pressure system be installed, which ended up doubling our cost. We're always telling our kids, you know, you get what you get, you don't throw a fit. So we're trying to set a good example. Our daughter went off to college a while back, and she was able to come home for the weekend. And wow, so yeah, we thought we'd have all this done before our kids grew up and left home. So thankfully she still wanted to come back, so that's a good thing. And my youngest daughter and son are on the crew today. Since the crew chief left, they've received promotions. So we can't have our installer out here until we know exactly where the tanks are going to go in relation to our building. Having a variety of plans, a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C, especially dealing with the people in charge of what they allow in your area. Anyway, if they feel like you don't know anything and they know better, they may run over you. So that's why I always work very, very hard to try to get all my ducks in a row, try to figure out what we're doing, why we're doing it. And yeah, so from the beginning, we've had these corner stakes in the ground. And so we're just making sure our links are correct. You have to get your links correct, and you have to then make it sure it's square. And then we've put a nail on top, and that nail we're using as the actual precise pin for where the corners would be. If you've never done it, there's some tricks to it. But yeah, that's where the septic field will go. And our rotary laser is set up there. The tanks are going to go right about in that area there. And I'm setting a new nail for this corner here. So we now have our new pins placed on this side of the building. The septic drain fields are already surveyed, good to go. And we had to put this orange fence up. We measured and flagged our setbacks from the septic field. I think it was like 25 feet. So the building has to be set back from that. The septic tanks themselves have to be 25 feet from that area. And then our septic tanks have to be within 10 feet of the building. Maybe it's no closer than 10 feet. So I don't know what's going on here. This is my pointing phase apparently. I'm trying to point everything out. And here's the tight line path from the pump tank to the drain field manifold. It'll be good to have all this documentation when I come back later and I need to fix something. And we gave ourselves an elevation benchmark for our plumbing here, and we'll use that as a reference point to make sure our tanks are deep enough in the ground so we can get the right slope. So I'm just pointing out our meter base there. So feeder wires will run underground from the meter base to the building, and our water supply path will run around the back of the building. And it's going to go under the footing and land on an interior wall. And the main drain exits here to go to the septic tank. We hope to have enough mason sand to backfill around our below slab plumbing. We're feeling pretty good. We feel like we've got the right people involved. I mean, we've been trying to do a lot of this ourselves, and it will be kind of fun to, work with professionals. Now that we have an elevation benchmark set, the next big thing will be actually installing the septic tank and pump tank.